Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lollipop and today we're going to be comparing the Trek Marlin 8 to the Specialized Rockhopper Expert. These bikes are the best of the entry-level mountain bikes available from both Trek and Specialized, so it only makes sense to give them a head-to-head comparison and figure out which one is better for the money. Now, I typically include Giant in these comparisons as well, but the equivalent bike in Giant's lineup is the Talon Zero, and that bike is unfortunately not available in the United States, so I'm choosing to skip Giant in this video. However, at the end of this video, I will give my thoughts on how Giant would do in this comparison, and I'll talk more about which bike is the best for a specific rider. For this comparison, I'm going to cover every component difference on these two bikes, including the brakes, the suspension forks, and the drivetrains, and I'll be completing this table at the end to show all of those changes in one place. And if you do want to see more comparisons like this, definitely like this video and subscribe to my channel since I love making these kinds of videos. Okay, let's get into it. I've made tons of videos on these bikes already, so I'm sure you know about them, but for a quick overview, both the Marlin 8 and the Rockhopper Expert are the most expensive bikes in the entry-level mountain bike category for Trek and Specialized. That means that these bikes are more designed for cross-country riding, but can definitely be capable trail bikes as well, or even commuter bikes since they both have mounting points for rear racks, but only the Trek Marlin has a mounting point for a kickstand as well. However, you still can install certain kickstands on the Rockhopper. Another thing to note is that the Trek Marlin 8 comes with 29-inch diameter wheels in most sizes, but the small frame size bike lets you choose between 27.5-inch diameter wheels or 29-inch wheels. Then the extra small frame is restricted to 27.5-inch wheels, and this bike also has an extra small frame size available, which the Rockhopper Expert does not. The XXS size uses 26-inch diameter wheels to make it more comfortable for shorter riders, as it is made for people who are 4'5" to 4'9" feet tall. And while I'm mentioning sizes, the Marlin 8 also has a medium-large size available, which the Rockhopper also does not have. The Specialized Rockhopper Expert also uses 29-inch wheels for all frame sizes besides extra small, but you can opt for a 27.5-inch diameter wheel for sizes small and medium. The Rockhopper Expert comes in the extra large frame size while the Marlin 8 does not, and this size is made for riders who are 6'3" to 6'6" feet tall. Besides that information, we can first talk about the price of both of these bikes. So the Marlin 8 comes in at $1,200 or 900 pounds, while the Rockhopper Expert is priced higher at $1,250 or 1,100 pounds. Now I'm going to cover a crucial difference between these two bikes, which is the color. Just kidding, but I do want to say these color names because they are so unnecessarily long. So the Trek Marlin 8 comes in two colors, which are Gloss Alpine Blue and a Gloss Neaster Black Fade, and Gloss Radioactive Red with Nautical Navy accents. The Specialized Rockhopper Expert comes in three colors, which are Gloss Sky Blue with Satin Black accents, Satin Silver Dust with black holographic accents, and Gloss Oak Green Metallic with metallic white and silver accents. Okay, with that out of the way, let's discuss the frames on these bikes, both of which are aluminum with internal cable routing. I've mentioned the frame geometry in previous videos already, and the difference in geometry numbers isn't that substantial, but basically the Rockhopper Expert has more modern geometry that is closer to a trail bike for more confidence going downhill, while the Marlin 8 has geometry closer to a cross-country bike for better pedaling efficiency. Now we can finally start talking about the actual components, beginning with the suspension fork. So these bikes actually use the exact same suspension fork, which is the RockShox Judy Airspring fork, with 30mm stanchions and 100mm of travel in most sizes. This fork has a lockout as well, but there is one difference between the forks on these bikes, and that is the amount of travel in different sizes. So the Marlin 8 comes with 80mm of travel for both the extra small and extra small frame sizes, while the Rockhopper Expert comes with 90mm of travel for a size small, and then 80mm of travel for the extra small size. This is only done to make the ride more comfortable for a shorter rider, but besides that, these forks are great for the type of bikes they're on. Next, I'll talk about the wheels. So I'm actually going to focus on the tires here since the rims on both bikes are tubeless ready and are pretty similar, except the Rockhopper's rims are a bit wider for added strength. The tires on the Trek Marlin 8 are interesting because for all sizes of the bike they are the same Maxxis Ardent race tires, but on the 26-inch wheel diameter bike they are actually 2.4 inches wide, while on the other sizes they are 2.35 inches wide only in the front and 2.2 inches wide in the rear. This allows the bike to have a more aggressive front tire while having a narrower, faster rolling tire in the rear for better efficiency. The Rockhopper Expert, on the other hand, uses ground control tires that are 2.3 inches wide for the front and rear, and in all sizes. All of these tires are tubeless ready, so both bikes come with a fully tubeless ready setup, so all you need are tubeless valves and sealant to get set up tubeless. Moving on, we have the brakes. Once again, both bikes use the same brakes, which are the Shimano MT200 hydraulic disc brakes, which are seen on a lot of bikes at this price point. However, the Marlin 8 uses 6-bolt disc rotors, while the Rockhopper uses center-locking disc rotors, which are not that different, but just something to note. Besides that, both bikes come with 160mm diameter rear brake rotors in all sizes, and either a 160 or 180mm front rotor depending on the frame size. And lastly, the final big component we have to discuss is the drivetrain. Now, you may not be surprised to find out that, like most other components here, the drivetrains are also exactly the same. Both bikes use the SRAM SX Eagle 1x12 drivetrain with a 30-tooth SX crankset and an 11 to 50-tooth SX Eagle cassette. But before I go on to the final thoughts and which bike you should get, I'm going to quickly cover the weight of each bike. The Trek Marlin 8 officially weighs 29.1 pounds or 13.20 kilograms in a size medium, with inner tubes installed. The Rockhopper Expert does not have an official weight, but it should weigh around the same based on all of the similar components. Okay, so that is all for the component comparison of these two bikes. Now let's talk about it all. So first, I did not mention a lot of the finishing components like the seat, handlebars, grips, and other stuff because they can easily be swapped out and they are not that different. However, one part I do want to quickly mention is the handlebar and stem combination, since on the Marlin you end up with a 12-degree rise in total, while on the Rockhopper you end up with a 21-degree rise for a more upright seating position that is better for descending. Overall, you can tell by looking at this table that these bikes are very, very similar, and the one you choose will ultimately depend on which brand you like more, or perhaps if you need the extra small frame size or the extra large frame. The Rockhopper does have more modern geometry, so if you want to have a slightly more capable bike, the Rockhopper would be your bet, but the Maxxis tires on the Marlin are a nice touch that makes it more appealing, as well as the slightly lower price point. I also promised to talk about the Giant Talon Zero, and that bike in pounds is 950 pounds, so less expensive than the Rockhopper Expert, but more expensive than the Marlin 8. The Giant, in my opinion, has a better drivetrain, which is the Shimano Dior 1x12, and it has a stronger suspension fork from Giant themselves, and it also actually has more aggressive Maxxis Recon tires that are 2.4 inches wide, so overall the Giant Talon Zero would be an amazing deal if you found one, but between the Rockhopper and the Marlin, it's pretty much a toss-up. So with that, I'll end the video, and of course leave any questions or comments below if you have any, and remember to like, subscribe, and keep biking.